Oi, oi, Savaloy! Hello, ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to the survival news. For the big weekend show, got lots to cover today, including Drake Hollow, a brand new horde-style farming simulator game. It sounds a bit silly, but actually it's pretty good. I played a demo last night. I want to show you guys how you can actually sign up for the beta on Xbox One. We've also got news about Star Citizen. Yes, I've not covered that game before, but it's got a free-to-play period at the moment, so I'm going to show a little bit about that. Subnautica Below Zero recap with the updates in the story. Maneater, the big shark eating game, is out now. Citadel Fortifier just had an update on PC. I'm going through the details of that one, and we're covering Scum as well and highlighting a YouTuber you should go follow for more info on that. Also going over Conan Exiles and Avatars are back. That is some of the biggest news going for Conan. They are testing it on Test Live, so they should be back very soon. And ARK with all the news about the new tropeo dinosaur that we got the first proper details of last night. What's going on with the ISO crystals mod, and ARK is going to be free to play very soon. Also Rust and cars, and whether or not voice chat is coming to console. It's all here, it's all go, it's the Access Show. Lies, it's not the Access Show, it's the survival news show. My random promo today is signing up for YouTube membership. Get exclusive looks at content that's incoming. Also take part in giveaways and draws that I do only for patrons, YouTube members and Twitch Prime subs, and pretty much help support the channel and get some nice little emotes while I'm streaming. So I told you guys about Grounded and its beta news or demo. It's going to be happening very, very soon. But another little game that's got a similar little bit of art style is Drake Hollow. This is going to be a co-op game. It's made by the guys that make Flame in the Flood. And this one revolves around these little creatures that you pretty much have to protect and keep happy. You'll grow food for them, you'll feed them, you'll make sure they've got toys to play with, and they'll help you construct all sorts of bases and defences. Now, don't worry, if you're still thinking it's a little bit too Stardew Valley-like, it's got more in common with 7 Days to Die in terms of like creatures coming to attack you regularly. And this is what really elevates it for me. Instead of just being a farming sim, it has got that little bit extra bits with it with the combat. So you've got to protect them against the blights or the aether. I played a bunch of it on the demo last night. You can sign up to the mailing list on their website, which I'll leave the link in the comments section, and you may be given a beta key for the Xbox. It's a load of fun. I'm actually really excited now I've got a chance to play it last night. There's a surprising amount of depth to it, as well as crafting, gathering resources to build better weapons, armour, and the pieces for your base while you're fighting off the aether creatures. The game's not coming out until July, so we've got a bit of time left still, but according to their Discord, I will be able to stream it right away. So yeah, expect to see some content on this game. It looks like it's something pretty decent, fun for maybe some younger ones, although not too young, as these are pretty scary. And it's got that cross, simulation, farming and combat loops. Star Citizen is going free to play for the next 11 days. Now this is a game a couple of you guys have said, why aren't I covering? To be honest, I didn't realise it had so much in common with some certain survival things. I thought it was more just the FPS module that it's got, and then it had a much more layered story content. Obviously I knew it was a big MMO portion of the game as well, but again I didn't realise it relied somewhat on survival. So yeah, I'm not saying there's aliens, but I may try and give this a go in the next 11 days. And if I like it, who knows, maybe I'll add it to my rotation of survival games I've got covering. Also, I have been a bit concerned. Star Citizen still isn't on any official storefront. Forget either being on Epic or Steam. It's still way in development. It's been going that way for years. Millions, one of the most expensive games, crowdfunded games in the world ever. As in, it's got that much money put into it, absolute millions. And we still haven't seen anything close to a final release. They're still working on different portions of the game. But I have noticed a few streamers that I watch starting to play it a bit more, so maybe it is time to dive in. And what better way than the 11-day free update? You can download the game, you'll get to try a variety of different ships. And when they did this last year, they allowed you to try every single ship in the game. So maybe they won't be doing the same this year. But it looks like they are trying to drum up some support and get more people involved. Subnautica give a dev update on what's going on with their Below Zero. Remember, they just dropped the update a little while ago that added the brand new story mode, or new start, Frostbite as it was called. And Xbox recently got an update improving a bunch of fixes and stuff like that, although a lot of people reporting it actually made it worse. Now, what I did get wrong in previous videos where I spoke about this, I assumed we wouldn't see much more story content come to the game until full release. But no, it looks like they are going to be adding more story kind of episodic content or updates that will progress the main story. rather than actually having to wait until the full release, and it's going to be brought in over the next few months. If you're wondering where all the voices have gone, well, obviously the COVID-19 has prevented them recording the actresses and the actors from doing voice work for the game, so it's likely they're probably going to have to do this now when the game is ready to go, and obviously once COVID-19 preventions are all cleared up. And they want to carry on making improvements to the icy cold service. They're going to integrate the surface and the underwater sections together a bit better, where they noticed that too much of the surface area of the game just felt a bit too removed. So they've got the glacial basin from scratch around the new glacial bay. Survival mechanics went live for the first time, and a variety of supporting tech and equipment has been added or upgraded, which is good stuff. So pretty much you'll be able to go over the lands and actually survive, rather than maybe just visiting and wandering through quickly. They're doing a big art pass on a lot of the stuff that's going on with vents, and just recapping that obviously old content won't work with the new changes. So yeah, a good little recap, everything they're doing. It's nice to see devs doing this and just pretty much showing what they've got planned and talking honestly about the plans. So Maneater is now live, the game where you get to be a killer shark roaming the waters of a city with its swamps and beachfronts, trying to get revenge on the guy that basically killed your mums. Oh yeah, you did take a bite out of his arm, spoiler as well. You'll be fighting a bunch of other creatures including alligators, and yes, munching on as many humans as possible. I've seen various different reviews. I have been given a review key, so I will be checking out the live stream tonight, so make sure you're tuned in for that one. And yeah, for sure, I will be seeing a bit of this game and let you guys know what I think about it. It looks silly, but it looks like it's got a little bit more customization than I thought, and it has got some mechanics, RPG mechanics, where you can upgrade and level up your shark. So yeah, it might be something just a little bit stupid, but it definitely fits in, I think, with the survival and the animal vibe that a lot of you guys like to play games like these. Let me know if you've seen it or you've already tried it. What is Maneater like for you? Citadel Forged with Fire has just updated the game for PC, and I do believe it will probably come to Xbox and PlayStation in a few weeks. This is the part 2 of the Godking's Vengeance, where they basically said they're going to be adding more stories, more mobs, more endgame content. The latest update adds a new 4th dungeon, a brand new crypt that you'll be exploring. They've got a new monster, the cultists, look like sort of big, huge cultist creatures, as you would expect, that seem to have lots of magical powers. They're adding mastery level quests and daily quests as well, so improving what that has, and I guess giving people more options. And it looks like the mutated enemies are now in the world as well, particularly a big one like this guy, so it looks like it's going to be pretty tough, and you might have to team up with other players to take it on. They've also added emotes to Citadel Forged with Fire. Like every game, guest needs to have these now. Well done, Fortnite, well done. They've also added armoured saddles to the game as well, and they've updated trinkets. You can now have 2 active trinkets at once. A bunch of other improvements on PvP servers. You can hold the E key, I'm guessing it might be the same on console, to close all doors at once on PvP servers. You'll also find new signs throughout the map that will give you little tips, and there's now options for private servers where you can pretty much decide what level players begin at. And it also adds tiered world loot spawns have now been implemented. Done a bunch of improvements, nerfs and buffs to a lot of the stuff, like double regeneration speed for starting town health and mana pools. Flight trinkets now have a chance to roll the extra mana stat, etc. And they've removed some useless icons like the gender on tamed NPCs. And players can no longer build on fast travel tower helix structure. So yeah, not bad stuff. Like I said, I did give this game a little bit of a hard time. I still stand by a lot of what I said. I don't think this is necessarily the biggest or chunkiest updates I would expect. We're now into obviously May. It's been like 7 months since the release, and you could argue that's 3 updates they've had in that time, but the first update really was about just correcting and putting in some quality of life issues. And the last update, the Godsking's Vengeance Part 1 and Part 2, while good, I still think this game needs a bit more. But by the sounds of everything they've announced beforehand, this will actually be one of the last updates the game gets in terms of content for the rest of the year. There hasn't been anything else added or changed, and this latest update does conclude the storyline content with this. So again, I hope I'm wrong. I'll always support a dev if they do come out and say they're going to carry on supporting the game. But the idea of calling this an expansion is a bit of a worry as well, when it literally adds some content that you could definitely argue was needed at the start. The big criticism of Citadel Forged with Fire is the repetitiveness of it and the fact it just doesn't have a lot of endgame content. And I say all this only because the price of the game was pretty expensive for what it is. For a cheap, smaller independent game, I don't know if you guys feel the same, I ain't gonna blare someone out if updates take a bit longer. You know they're probably not made as much money, they need to sell absolute millions to really regain costs. but Citadel Fortifier was about 35, 40 quid. And I don't know, for that kind of price, although it's not totally AAA, I do expect a little bit more. But there you go. If you're a big fan of Citadel Fortifier, it might be time to revisit it. Like I said, I'll let you guys know when this comes to Xbox and PlayStation. Scum got another update yesterday. They've been coming thick and fast now from the developers. They've changed a little bit how players respond when they get downed. In fact, you will go into a coma-like state and you can get picked up. They've also added damage to the vehicles that are in the game after improving a lot of the handling of them and pretty much how you gain resources like petrol and stuff for them before. As you can see, comatose does happen. You're going to die in a certain amount of minutes and you can do the same things as before, like respawn or go to a random area. But if your player can get to you, they might be able to revive you. They've also changed and added some new lockpicking mechanics to the game, or rebalanced them at least. So for definitely a lot more proper details from someone who really knows the game, go and check out NateWolf49. I've been following him a while. He's making pretty solid content, pretty entertaining, and keeping things useful with lots of guides for lots of different survival games, but definitely a lot of scum content. He's already got the lowdown on some mechanics like reviving a player. I'll have the links for his channel in the comment section down below, or you'll find him in my recommended section in Discord and on my YouTube page. The devs are pretty happy that they've upgraded to Unreal Engine as well. They did a big leap, going up 4 different versions, promising this will help a lot with stability and pretty much optimization. They've changed and fixed some things with sentries, lots to do with spike traps, and they've added high loot servers. So yeah, I'm pleased to see this. Scum has got a fair bit of competition this year. DayZ is still pulling in the players, particularly on PC, with Dead Matter closed alpha coming, and of course a small limited success for Deadside. The zombie survival game is definitely filled up with a lot of contenders. Scum made absolute bucket loads of money, sold lots of copies when they first hit. These kind of updates I'm sure are going to help the community get back up to the numbers it was. Good news for Conan Exiles fans, avatars are really getting worked on and being put back into the game. It's been what, maybe 10 months or so, something like that, where they haven't had the big main draw of Conan Exiles, these giant gods that you can use to smite your enemies. There was problems with them last year. They never really have got the balance right for them, so they took them out while they fixed it, and they've just been re-implemented onto the test live servers by looks of things. A lot of other stuff as well, including AI stances being improved after the latest followers update. Did add a big chunk to the game, but there's still way too many complaints I've seen of it actually making a lot of problems. They've kind of admitted that they made the AI maybe a little bit too powerful. The way they circle or kind of tethered to players. Lots of people have been saying your followers are pretty much the main guys while you're just the sidekicks. And they've also acknowledged that during PvP combat, it's not ideal that you're going to pretty much just let your follower do the work. So it does look like they're going to be nerfing that slightly in the future. More interestingly though is the fact they're bringing in their own server. Now Funcom have got their own launcher. They've been working on this a while. They had it on Test Live or part of something where you could test it out for yourself a little while ago. But they got so much negative feedback, I do believe they took it off. Now I know old Firespark might be worried. He's one of the biggest YouTubers covering Conan Exiles. That this means they're going to be going onto another store. I don't see it that way myself. But it does say here that adding functionality for an in-game friends list and improvements to the server browser. What I really think this is down to is actually getting the server launcher for other areas. Not everywhere in the world utilises Steam or is as big or as popular. China has had an up and down relationship, sometimes having the means to support it with companies like Tencent, who've actually helped get Steam out to mainland China in the past. But equally there have been issues where they've sometimes come down on it and actually restricted the use of Steam. So I think this could be a bit of a mixed thing now that Tencent are the majority shareholder. In fact, they pretty much own Funcom outright now. They're more than likely getting their own separate launcher because that kind of makes more sense for their regions in Asia. This is all just a bit hearsay talk, but beyond the usual, I don't want to download another launcher bullshit argument. As long as it doesn't mean I have to actually pay any money extra or anything's massively different, I really don't see the problem. Come cry to me, PC players, when you're a console scrub and you've got to buy a whole nother system to play another game. But yeah, so it's been added in there. And now the avatars, which is the exciting bit. 6-hour cooldown down from 48 at the moment. You can no longer transfer the summoning tokens between inventories unless you kill a player. They've rebalanced lots of followers' HP and damage across the board, like I said, the nerfing. Reduce the range damage by 30%, melee damage by 40%, and avatars will no longer be able to damage structures inside a protection dome. This is one of the big things they had problems with last year. So lots of good stuff. I may dive into this a little bit deeper next week. And we'll go and visit the test live and test out some of the avatar systems. But good progress at last. It has taken far too long, and they were way too slow in responding and actually telling the community what's going on. But hey-o, it's better to start now than never. Just bear in mind this is only the test live server on PC. It's probably going to be at least another month or so before these fixes come to console. Right, moving on to ARK, got bunches to talk about. The brand new tropeo dinosaur was announced last night. This is the flying creature that everyone's getting to celebrate the 5th birthday of ARK Survival Evolved. It looks like it's going to be spawning on most of the maps apart from Aberration, and it will be for Xbox and PlayStation 2. It's pretty much a mini Quetzal with a gun on it and a booster jet. I broke the news yesterday, gave you a little bit of a heads up. It's going to be a bit slower though than a lot of other flyers, but it's got more stamina, and that little booster jet will give it that little bit of extra speed. Plus it can go faster when it's following other creatures. So great stuff. It really builds up the hype getting new creatures in ARK. Reminds me of all the good times when it was in early access. So yeah, the Tropicanaphus will be coming on June 5th to Xbox, PlayStation and PC. But yeah, let's go over the free game on Epic Store thing. It does look like ARK's going to be in free on the Epic Games Store. Now there's still a bunch of questions that you guys raised, so good points, asking what's going to happen with mods. Will you be able to play with Steam players, or is it going to be a Windows 10 version of the game? And I do apologise, I assumed that ARK was already on the Epic Games launcher, but no, it's always just been the ARK mod kit. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of questions that need to be answered. If you hadn't heard about this, there was a leak the other day that said what games were going to be coming to the Epic Games Store as their freebies. And the leak did say that Civilization 6 was going to be the next game. After that, it's going to be Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, I do believe. And then after that, it's going to be ARK Survival Evolved. Remember, for their 5th birthday, they've got a brand new expansion being worked on properly, the Crystal Isles. And I've been in their Discord checking out a few things from what the developers have been saying. ISO's the main person, but I do believe they get help from some others in the modding community. And while most conjecture is that yes, the Crystal Wyverns will be there, they're variations on the normal wyverns you find. They've got unique little abilities, but there's also a bunch of other creatures that we don't know for sure yet, like the Embertross Griffin. There's apparently some squid creature as well. It does look like though, from what I'm gauging through these questions, that lots of them other creatures might not necessarily be on the map. It might just be the Crystal Wyverns. From what I do understand, they're basically getting a big update ready for the current version of the Crystal Isles map. So it's not a complete rewrite from the ground up. They're just simply updating, fixing and doing a lot to the game, and it is going to be ready, the first part anyway. When will Xbox and PlayStation get it? Honestly, I'm not expecting it to hit at all until maybe September or October. That may seem like a massively long time away, but bearing in mind they still have got so much work to do in the Crystal Isles, which of course is going to be free. If I remember rightly though, a couple of years ago, before she started to work on Atlas and other content, she was about 60-70% complete on it. But obviously some changes need to be made to take on board all the new creatures that I've got in the game now and some of the other mechanics. I honestly can't see the Crystal Isles map coming until at least September. For Xbox and PlayStation anyway. But yeah, expect to see that in the next few days. We're going to get a big announcement saying that indeed it will be free on the Epic Games Store. As soon as we get any info about mod support, how it works with either Steam or Windows 10, I'll let you guys know. Rust is going to have voice chat. It may seem like a bit of a given, but actually lots of console games sometimes do away with voice chat completely, or it's just a little bit broken. That's according to the commits that they're working on at the moment on the console version. This is pretty much all the work that Double 11 are currently doing on Rust, and so they have fixed a bunch of stuff to do with that voice chat. I've also been playing around a lot with the car system. Me and my good buddy Zodi, we went and tried a bunch of the new modular cars out the other day on some servers on the staging. I think a lot of you guys may be expecting that to be there when the console version releases. I'm not too sure. I think there will be definitely not too far behind. But by the time console version comes out, I expect it to be a good few updates behind the main version on PC. I could be wrong, maybe it'll be easy to implement, but it does look like the cars need a hell of a lot more work at the moment, so I'm not actually predicting they're going to be ready until August. I think they probably won't even put it on the staging branch until July, and then they'll keep it on July for a good few weeks before making it wholesale for everyone in August. And that's a little bit later than what they originally said. Again, this is hearsay, this is just my opinion, but that's what I'm taking it from the progress I've seen. This is what I've gathered from following some of the updates that the devs have been speaking about on Twitter. The cars are hella fun. There definitely will be some fun moments with them, but it's maybe not going to be as important, I think, as some people would hope. It's definitely going to be there, obviously, just to transport players across the map. And they need to come up with some better ways, I think, to make them more useful. The idea of having a tank that holds water could be good, but equally it is more exciting if it does have a way to hold oil or fuel. And that is something it doesn't currently have because fuel is not a liquid in Rust just yet. I also like the idea of actually making it proper a little bit more Mad Max style. Add more modules that have maybe turrets positions on it or ways to make it a bit more defensible. Imagine spikes everywhere. They turned pretty well, we had some fun on it moving around. It was a little bit complicated at first getting them onto a drivetrain so that we could actually change and mix stuff up. But once we got the hang of it, it was pretty cool. So I'll probably again be talking about this next week. I'm going to go and visit the staging branch servers once more and get some more experience with the cars. And I'm trying to work out a way that I can host my own staging branch server. As always, I'll keep you guys up to date what's going on with Rust and console, and from now on, all the stuff that's happening on PC too. And there we go, guys. I hope that's filled you up for your survival needs this weekend. Make sure you're locked onto my channel. We've got notifications on. Follow me on Twitter and come join my Discord to keep up to date with all these games. I've got channels pretty much set up for every single one of them. If I haven't, come and remind me, and I pretty much will give you the latest information there as soon as I get it. Until next time, ratbags, laters.